Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I want to show you how to format your document into APA styles. So we have the 7th edition and the 6th edition. APA in full is American Psychological Association. It's a writing formatting style. So whatever I'm showing you here is basically a template, the APA template. So I'm going to show you how to format it, starting with the cover page. So in the cover page, you need to have your title. This is the title. It should be descriptive but succinct. So this is where you're supposed to put your title. Then you bold it. After bolding it, you will have the student's name, the institution, the course or units, then the professor, then you will have your dates. But then all these details should be centered. So you will highlight them, then center them. So you need to have them at the center. Then you also do not forget to put the page numbers. So in the 7th edition, we're gonna double click at the top. I hope you've seen what I've done. So you just go up, put the cursor up here, then double click. Once you double click, you'll have this line coming up over here. Then you need to check this. Different first page, different odd and even pages, show document text. So if it is 7th edition, you will not need to check on these two boxes, so just leave it as it is. Then go to this section where we have page number, click on it. Then because we want to have our page numbers at the top of the page, go to the top of the page. So once you go to the top of the page, it will give you these options. So there's this one that I always like, plain number 3, which will put my page number towards the right side. So I will click on it. So once I've clicked on it, I will go back to home and ensure that it the writing style is Times New Roman and the size is 12. So once you have your page number, lower your cursor to the lower parts of the page, then double click. Once you double click, you can see we have in our document page number 1, and once you do that, all the other pages will have the page numbers. So let me just scroll down so that you see the page numbers. That's the first page. You can see here we have number 2. I didn't have to repeat the steps, but you can see there's page number 2, and the same has been repeated all throughout the document. Page number 3, you can see it here. So once you've put the page numbers and you have the title and your details down here, so this is just a template. I'll show you a full document that has been well formatted in APA 7th edition. Then when you go to the second page, you will put your title at the beginning of the second page, bold it so that it looks nice. Then you will have your first paragraph written below it, and you can see the paragraphs are indented. So I'll show you how to indent the paragraphs. So for me to show you, let me just take it back to how it normally is, then show you how to indent. So you will highlight. For you to highlight, put your cursor behind the first word, then left click your mouse and hold on it to highlight the whole paragraph. Once you highlight the whole paragraph, you will go to this section and click on these small parts. Once you click on it, there's this box that will pop up. Then go to this section written special, click on first line. We are indenting the first line. Okay, then this part basically shows you the length of your indent. Is it 0.5 inches? Do you need to increase it to 1 inch? Do you need to increase it? But normally the standard size is always 0.5. Once you do that, you click OK. So you can see the first word, this has moved. It was initially here, it has moved to this part. Then another way that I always like to format my document is to block my paragraphs. Blocking my paragraphs is that I don't want to see my sentences, some long, some short. It doesn't make my work neat. So what I normally do, I highlight the whole paragraph again. Okay, then you can see the reason as to why the lines are overlapping, because the alignment text is this one towards the left. So I always like using this one. Okay, and you can see now we have a straight line. Okay, so you repeat the same. If you have a subheading, you will put your subheading in the next section. But if your document is just flowing, you will have your second paragraph immediately below the first paragraph. But again, once you have indented your paragraphs, as you go to the next paragraph, you will not need to repeat the procedure. Let me show you. So this is the last part of the first paragraph. So if I want to go to the next paragraph, you just click enter, and you can see the first word has already been indented. Okay, so that is how you continue formatting your work. So again, you can block this section. Okay, block this part. If I didn't have these subheadings, okay, let me center the subheading. If I didn't have these subheadings, I could have highlighted the whole document, the whole of it, then blocked. Okay, so let me block this paragraph again. Let me block this discussion part. Then the conclusion. So my paragraph, the first sentence, my paragraphs are indented and they are well blocked. So the document is very, very, very neat, as you can see. The other aspect of this APA that I want to show you is the in-text citation. The in-text citation. So I have highlighted a couple of examples here of the in-text citations. So you can see the first in-text citation that I've used is Ramirez 2017. Ramirez is the author, and 2017 is the year that the author wrote the book. So you want to put the in-text citation at the end of the sentence or paragraph where you've obtained the information. Alright, then this other example of in-text citation, this writer goes to an extent of putting the page number, and this is important because if someone else reads your document and wants to go to that reference, he will look for this book, the author is Ramirez 2017, and go to page 26 and confirm if actually whatever the writer has written here comes from this page number. So that's another style of having your in-text citation. Now look at this other one, Stein et al. 2019. So Stein is the author and 2019 is the year that the authors did the book. But you can see there's this word et al. Et al. Basically means that this book was not written only by Stein, but there are several authors. So the principles are, you cannot, if the authors are more than two, you cannot write all of them here. Okay, you cannot have like Stein, Kevin, whatever, all of them here. So you just write Stein et al, then put a full stop, comma, then 2019. This tells us that it wasn't one author, as it is in this case. In this case, it is only Ramirez who did this book. So these are three in-text citation ways. These are three ways of doing your in-text citations. So if the authors are, if there are two, you can write Stein and the other author. Get? But if there are more than two, you use et al. So that is how you do your in-text citation. And again, you have to put them in brackets. You have to put the in-text citation in brackets. The other way is you can let me show you this part. Let me just highlight it. Another way is you can have the authors outside the brackets of the year and the page number. So this is also acceptable. Now look at what I was telling you. Skinner and Fester, 1957. So what does this tell us? It tells us that we had two authors in this resource. So we have Skinner and Fester. But if there were more than three, we could have just said or written Skinner et al. 1957. So I hope you've understood that section of in-text citation. It's very simple, guys. It's very simple. So practice makes perfect, and you can opt to include everything inside the bracket. Personally, I always like to include everything inside the bracket, the authors, the year, and the page number, if I'm certain. So, and if you're not certain of the page number, just leave it at the year, not unless it is a must from your instructor or lecturer. Then this is the conclusion part, and then we go to another important part. Is the reference page. Now let me show you something. You don't want a situation whereby the last paragraph is in the same page with the reference part. Okay, so even if you go to this page and you have like one sentence in this page, okay, and the sentence is part of your discussion above there, you will go to the next page to do your reference. So you need to scroll this part down to the next page. That is a principle. Do not combine your last paragraph or conclusion parts with the reference page. So you will have your conclusion. You can see it has ended here, but we still have space here. Don't combine them. Just have your reference in its own page. Now this is the reference page, and the word reference must be centered. So how do we center it? You will highlight the word reference, okay, then center it. Okay, you can see center the text. So I'll center it. Great. So we are almost done with formatting. And now the references, what you need to do with the references, they need to be hanging. Okay, they need to be hanging. So what I'll do, I will highlight all the references. Once I've highlighted all the references, let me show you how to highlight. Just have your cursor in the at the beginning of the first word. Once you've highlighted, you put your cursor there, left click your mouse, then do not leave it. Once you've left, just hold on it as you highlight. Using your other hand, just scroll from the first word to the last part of the references, then leave it. So once you have this blue section here, it means you've highlighted all of them. Then come here, click on this part, okay, then this box will pop up. You can see indent and spacing. then go to this indentation parts, special. Okay, now we are not doing the first line as we did on the other part of the document. For the references, we need to have them hanging, and again for consistency we need to have them hanging at 0.5 inches. Then click OK once you've done that. All right, so you see what has happened here. This is now what we call the hanging style, whereby the first part of the reference will begin from the edge. Okay, then once it goes to the next line, that other part will be indented. That's the hanging style of the references. Then let me confirm if these references are blocked. Okay, look here guys, it is not blocked, it is aligned to the left. So I normally like them blocked. You can see now all of them are in line. All right, and now how do we do the references? Because this is also an important part. You cannot have a document written in APA style but the references are not APA. Okay, I was saying that these references must be in APA style, where you have the name of the author. You can see if there are more than one authors, just you must have them at this part. Then the year that they published the book, the title of the essay or chapter. Then you will have the title pages of essay or chapter, and the publisher. Then you can have a link here, but I'll show you an easier way of getting the APA references without having the stress of like how do I arrange these things. I'll show you where to get them. You can see an example of this reference. We have the author called Freud, then we have the year here, article title, name of journal, the volume, pages, and the link. So guys, you can see the APA 7th edition, how good it looks from the first page to the last page. You can see that is the cover page. Then the second page, where you have your introduction parts, first paragraph, then these other parts. So guys, I want to remove this in text where I have highlighted in yellow, because I know some people will think that if when you're doing the APA style you need to highlight your in-text citation. So let me just remove them. So I can highlight the areas where I have the highlighted in-text citations. So you can see I've highlighted that part. Then go to text, highlight color, click on it. You can see I had highlighted in yellow, but I'll go to this part written no color. So if I click on no color, you can see my in-text citations are back to normal, how they're supposed to be. We also have some here that I highlighted. So I just highlighted that part. You can also just highlight where that in-text citation is, like that, and go to this part, text, highlight color. Because I initially used no color, if I just click on this, it goes back to white. Again, click on it. So I don't have any other colored part. Oh, there's one here. Click on that part. Okay, great. So normally the way I always format my work, I prefer having the whole document being in black color. So these parts in blue, I'll try and remove them. I'll highlight the whole document basically from these parts and highlight the whole of it. So once I've highlighted all of it, I'll go to for font color. Okay, you can see font color. Click on this, then the theme color should be black, so we'll not have any blue color. You remember these links were in blue and the other parts were in black, so just for uniformity, to remove those blue parts, that is what you do. If the blue parts were only at the reference page, I could have just highlighted this part alone, but there was a part in the first page, this part was also in blue, so I had to remove it. So guys, this is the formatting APA 7th edition. There's a slight difference between APA 7th edition and 6th edition. Now let me show you a document that I had already done. It was on career interview. So you can see I had already done and formatted it. Great. So this is still 7th edition, career interview and planning. That's my title. Then we have student's name here, institution and affiliation, course, date. So before you submit, you must edit these parts. Okay, you will have to delete this and put your name. If your name is Levis Steven, you'll have to put there. Okay, don't submit your work with the institution affiliation student's name like that. Okay, so I know you guys are bright, so you can be able to do that. Great. So that's the cover page. Let me scroll down. The second page, you can see part 1, interview analysis. So just and this is my first paragraph. You can see I've indented my paragraphs and blocked them so that these edges are in line, and the document looks very neat, and the subtitles have centered them. You can see option 1, option 2, option 3. Okay, then the part 2 I've centered it. You can, if I highlight it, you see this is the center part that shows you that I centered that text. Okay, then the last page is the reference page. So it wasn't like this. I've just highlighted it to show you how to get these references. It's supposed to be white like that. Then let me come here and remove this blue part. Okay, so once I highlight it, I'll go to font color and click on black so that the whole document is black in color. Okay, and you can see my references, they are hanging. To confirm that they are hanging, I can highlight them, okay, and go to this part, click on it. You can see it's hanging, okay, and it's 0.5 inches. So my references are hanging. So this is a document that I can easily submit, and the professor will be happy about it. Now let me show you how I got my references in APA style without having the stress of like thinking, where do I put the author, where do I put the year, where do I put the title, where do I put the page number and stuff like the APA style basically. So I'll highlight this and copy. Okay, there is a site where I always get my references called Google Scholar. So this is the Google Scholar. Okay, this is where I get my references. For example, if I'm doing a research on constitution, so I normally come here and type the word constitution, then it will give me a number of articles about constitution. Okay, so if I get an article that is relevant to my work, I'll basically click on that article, read on it. Okay, once I read on it and get a section where I can use on my documents, I normally come to this. So let me say, for example, I'm using this why a constitution article. I'll click on it. Once I click on it, it's loading. It will take me to that book. Okay, then I read. Okay, I won't read the whole document, but then I just go through it and maybe get an important part that I can use in my work. Once I do that, I'll have that section paraphrased, not written as it is, paraphrased in my work. Because if you write it as the way it is, your work will be plagiarized. So I paraphrase it, then have an in-text citation. So once I've paraphrased, I go back and cite it. You can see where this finger points to. If I click on it, it gives me now the references. If my work is APA, I just come and highlight this. Okay, once I highlight, you right click, copy, then paste to your document, because now the Google Scholar has already arranged all these citations in MLA. You have APA, Chicago, Harvard, so depending on the style that you're using, okay, without having the stress of finding out how to arrange all this stuff. So guys, you can see now this is the complete APA 7th edition document. From this part, you can easily submit to your lecturer or instructor, and you will get good marks because your document looks neat, and of course your content is also good. But remember, you have to put your personal details on the cover page. Okay, now there is a slight difference between APA 7th and 6th edition. So this is the 7th edition. Let me show you the 6th edition. So the only difference between APA 6th and 7th edition is on the page numbering, the way it will look like. Okay, the 6th edition has a running head. I'll repeat that part. The 6th edition has a running head, while the 7th edition, you can see there's just the numbers. We don't have anything included on the header part, just the numbers. This is the 7th edition. But now 6th edition has the running head. So I'll start by removing these page numbers. So once you've highlighted, I backspace on it and double click. So you can see my document doesn't have any page numbers. Okay, it doesn't have any page numbers. I want to convert this to APA 6th edition. Alright, so I'll go back to this top page. You can see where my cursor is, and double click. Once I have double clicked, you can see this design part. Make sure you click on different first page. Different first page. Click on that part. Once you have it that way, I'll go to the page number. Okay, just as we did on the APA 7th edition. Click on that part, go to top page, select the one you like. I always use this option 3, plain number 3, where the page number is at the right side, top right side. Okay, so once you've done that, you can see my cursor is still at this part, number 1 part. I always, or you should rather backspace it. You're kind of like pushing it towards the left side when you click backspace. Then write the word running head. Okay, once you write running head, put the colon. Okay, once you do that, write the title. The title of our work is Career Interview and Planning. You can see as I'm typing, the page number is moving towards the right. So I have finished typing, but the page number is still at the center, or rather it is immediately after the word planning. So I need to push it towards the right. How do I push it toward the right? You can click on tab or space and up to the point where it will go to the right side. So I'll recommend that you use the tab. Click on tab. You can see if you click on tab, it goes to the right. I've just clicked it twice and it has moved to the right. Then look at this part. The running head is basically written on sentence case, where we have capital R and small. This other part is small, capital H, and this other part is small. But the title is in capital, the whole of it. So I believe you've looked at how I have written the running head and the title. The only thing remaining now here is to ensure that these words, the running head and career interview, the style is consistent with the whole work, the writing style. So once I have highlighted this, the whole part, let me highlight again. I'll go to home, then writing style, Times New Roman, 12, okay. Then have once I do that, I have completed that part, running head. So put your cursor below the header line, then double click. You can see we have running head, career interview and planning. Then go to the second page. The second page has nothing. So it is not automatic that once you do the first, once you put the page number on the first page, it will copy itself to the other parts. Remember, we clicked on different first page. So again, you go to the second page, double click on this top part. Once you double click, go to the page number, okay, top of page, put the page number, automatically it will go to page number 2. Then backspace so that you push the page number towards the left so that you can write your topic. Now do not write the word running head, just write the topic, career interview and planning. Okay, once you do that, click on the tab to push the page number again back to where it's supposed to be. I have done so. Highlight the whole of it. Because this style is Calibri, I need to change it to Times New Roman. Go to Times New Roman and click on 12, size 12. Okay, now once you do this on the second page, you don't need to repeat the same step on page 3, 4, 5. So it will automatically copy itself from page 2 going downwards. So just double click your cursor below this header line and your document is now okay. You can see running head, but from page 2 we don't have running head. It's just the topic and the page number. The same has been repeated in these other pages. Now this is now what we call APA 6th edition. So guys, if you've liked my lesson, please click like, share and subscribe. Thank you guys.